Japan has one of the best train systems in the world, but if it's your first time, it can feel overwhelming and sometimes chaotic. In this video, we'll show you how Japan trains actually work, how to choose the right train, when the JR Pass makes sense, and how to move between cities, day trips, and even airports without stress. So if this is your first time coming to Japan, let's get this started. Alright, to kick it off, Japan trains aren't chaotic. They are layered. On the same tracks, you'll see different types of trains doing different jobs. Local trains stop at every station. Rapid trains skip some stops. Limited express trains go farther than fewer stops. And Shinkansen connects to cities. The most important thing to remember is that being on the right track doesn't always mean you're on the right train. The train type matters. For most travel in Japan, an IC card like Suica or Pasmo is all you need. You tap in, tap out, and the system automatically calculates a fare. No buying tickets each time. You can use a physical card or add one to your phone. On iPhone, Suica works directly in the Apple Wallet, and Android users can use mobile wallets versions too. But here's something really important. One card or one phone equals one person. You can't scan twice with the same device. So if you're traveling as a couple, with kids, or with someone without a phone, you'll need separate cards. That's where physical IC cards are still really useful, especially for kids or anyone who doesn't want to use their phone. Also, keep some cash on you. We had some times where reloading didn't work or machines didn't take our card, and cash saved us more than once. And because of past chip shortages, physical cards can sometimes be hard to find at busy stations. So if you can get one set up digitally, it's often easier. One quick thing people don't realize, IC cards like Suica aren't just for trains. You can also use them on buses, at convenience stores, vending machines, station lockers, and even some restaurants. We used ours constantly, so keeping a little balance on your card makes daily travel way easier. Now, one thing that trips people up in Japan is that not everything on rails is the same system. The metro is mainly for getting around inside big cities. It's great for neighborhoods, sightseeing, and short stops. JR trains connect major stations to go farther. They link different parts of the city and nearby regions, and they are what most people think as regular trains. Then there are private railways. These are often the fastest and most direct way to get to specific destinations, but they are not covered by the JR Pass. Once you understand which system you're using, choosing the right train gets a lot easier. Alright, let's have a quick luggage reality check. You can take luggage on trains, but during rush hour, it's tight. I mean really tight. So we planned longer trips outside of peak times when we could. One thing we wish we would have known sooner is Japan luggage delivery service. Most hotels can send your bags directly to the next hotel, sometimes overnight. Once we did that, we loved it. It made traveling so much easier, especially between cities. Alright, so Google Maps works incredibly well if you can read it properly. Pay attention to the platform number, the actual train name, and the walking time inside stations because some stations are massive. And if you miss a train, don't panic. In most cities, there's another one coming in just a few minutes. Inside the train, there are screens showing the line, the direction, and the upcoming station numbers, so you can always see if you're heading the right way. We relied on Google Maps for almost every train we took, and once you know what to look for, navigating Japan trains becomes really easy. When in the train station, you'll also see women-only cars on some trains, especially during rush hour. They are clearly marked on the platform. If you see one, just step into the next car. Alright, let's talk about the JR Pass. The JR Pass gives unlimited rides on JR trains, but not all the trains in Japan. A lot of people still swear by it because years ago, it was an incredible deal. If you traveled to Japan 10-20 years ago, the JR Pass made total sense. It was cheaper, simpler, and there were fewer alternatives. Today, prices have changed, and there are more fast, direct options that aren't JR. Where people get stuck now is the obligation. Once you buy your JR Pass, you will feel like you have to use JR trains, even when there's faster or easier options that aren't covered. You know, the JR Pass isn't bad. It just doesn't match how we traveled. The key is making sure it fits your trip, not forcing your trip to fit the pass. For our trip, we skipped the JR Pass. We used some JR trains, and we mixed it up with limited express trains, Skyliner Expresses, and other trains, and simply booked our bullet train tickets at the station when we needed them. That gave us more flexibility, saved us time, and honestly reduced stress plus saved us hundreds of dollars. One last thing to know before we talk about destinations, not every train in Japan works exactly the same. Some trains are called limited express trains. These are faster, more direct, and sometimes more comfortable, but they usually require an extra ticket or a reserved seat. Trains like airport expresses or scenic routes often fall into this category, and they are clearly marked at the station and on the platform. The important part is this: Japan makes it very obvious when a train needs something extra. If a train requires a reservation or special ticket, the signs, machines, and staff will guide you. Now that you understand how the system works, we'll walk you through real routes people actually take and the common tourist mistakes to avoid. Alright, let's get to destinations. Let's start off with Osaka and Kyoto to Nara. Nara is a really popular day trip, and this is where understanding train options helps. We spent the night there, highly recommend it, can't wait to show you those videos. But for trains, from Osaka, JR trains will get you there. But the Kintetsu line is often faster and drops you closer to Nara Park, which means less walking once you arrive. From Kyoto, you'll also see both JR and Kintetsu options. JR works well, but depending on where you're staying, Kintetsu can be the more direct and convenient option. The key takeaway is this: there is more than one right train to Nara. We checked Google Maps each time and chose the right route that was faster or closer to what we wanted to see, not just the one that was covered. Next up, let's talk about Tokyo to Tokyo Disney. Tokyo Disney is one of the easiest train trips in Japan. You'll take the JR train to Mahama Station, which is the main station for Tokyo Disney Resort. From areas like Shinjuku, where I was staying, it took about 1 hour, usually with one easy transfer. When you get off the Mahama Station, Disney is right there. You can't miss it. Next up is Hakone. Hakone is a popular day trip from Tokyo, known for hot springs, volcanic sulfur vents, mountain views, and views of Mount Fuji on clear days. We took the Romance Car, which is a limited express train that runs directly from Tokyo to Hakone. It's faster, more comfortable, and honestly part of the experience, especially with large windows and reserved seating. It's not covered by the JR Pass, but for this trip, it was the best option. Once you arrive in Hakone, you connect to local trains, cable cars, or boats depending on what you want to do. Now for Mount Fuji, from Tokyo or Hakone, trains also run toward the Mount Fuji area, which is one of the most popular places to base yourself for Fuji views. You can reach this area entirely by train, either with direct limited express options or easy transfers, and Google Maps makes it very straightforward. Just like Hakone, this is another trip where choosing the right train for your route matters more than using a single pass. Alright, let's talk about the Tokyo to Narita Airport. For getting between Tokyo and Narita Airport, trains are almost always the easiest option. If you're using a JR Pass, Narita Express is covered and runs directly to major stations in Tokyo. If you don't have a pass, we use a Skyliner, which is often faster depending on where you're staying and very straightforward. Both trains have luggage space, clear English signage, and take the stress out of airport travel. Compared to traffic, cost, and timing, the train just makes more sense for most people. Next up is the Haneda Airport, and the airport is closer to the city and easier overall. Getting in and out by train is very straightforward with direct rail connections right inside the terminals. Depending on where you're staying in Tokyo, you'll usually either use the Tokyo monorail or a direct city train line, and both are fast, frequent, and clearly signed in English. Once you're on the train, you're basically already in the city. Alright, let's get to the fast trains now. For longer distances between major cities, Japan uses Shinkansen, the bullet trains. This is how most people travel between cities like Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, and Hiroshima. Shinkansen trains are fast, comfortable, and extremely reliable, and stations are clearly signed in English. Whether you use a JR Pass or buy tickets as you go, the experience is very straightforward and one of the best parts of traveling in Japan. Alright, let's get into some common tourist mistakes. The most common mistakes tourists make on Japan trains are usually small ones. Boarding the wrong train type is a big one. Being on the right platform doesn't always mean you're on the right train. Another common mistake is sitting in reserved seats without realizing it, which is easy to avoid by just checking the signs on the platform and inside the train. A lot of people also avoid faster or more direct trains because they're not covered by a pass, even when they would have saved time and stress. And finally, overthinking transfers. Japan stations are well signed, and if you miss something, there's usually another train just minutes away. After 2 or 3 train rides in Japan, it all clicks. Choose a train that fits your destination, and Japan's rail system becomes one of the best parts of the trip. If this helped, we got more step-by-step Japan videos on airports, trains, driving, and what to do once you're there. So if you found this content helpful, hit the like button and definitely subscribe because we've got so much more coming. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.